Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about Fable and how it has been delayed until 2026, which isn't very surprising because basically they announced it and they didn't say anything else after that for a very long time, so I'm not entirely surprised. We're going to be on PC Gamer today, and this article is written by Rich Stanton. Thank you for the article. It'll be linked down in the description if you'd like to read along. The title goes, Fable is delayed until 2026. Maybe not the news people wanted to hear, but it's definitely worth the wait. Quite frankly, the most beautiful realized version of Albion you've ever seen. Now, I personally have never played any of the Fable games, but I was interested in playing the new one, but unfortunately it looks like I have to wait another year. But from what I could tell, it did seem like they were very early on, and it definitely feels like they kind of announced it too early or maybe too soon in its development cycle, because it seems like it's taken a lot more time than they thought it would be. And I hope they take their time with this game, because Xbox needs bigger first party hit, because like Halo basically doesn't exist anymore, because Halo Infinite has been basically a failure in many ways, and Gears of War isn't it. Well, the new Gears of War game is coming either this year or next year, but that's going to be a little bit. And Bethesda isn't coming out with anything anytime soon. So they don't really have any big first party titles, even though they have so many studios. So they really need something big, but it looks like we're going to have to continue the wait. Just before we continue into the article, I'd like to remind everyone, please like the video, comment down below what you guys think about Fable and all that good stuff. Please subscribe to the channel. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a Q&A video. And if you're interested in that, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Microsoft has announced a delay to the Playground developed Fable reboot, which has been scheduled for this year, but will now arrive at an unspecified date in 2026. The publisher did provide a sweetener of sorts by also releasing a brief new look at the game, which Xbox Game Studios head Craig Duncan says will be definitely worth the wait. Yeah, and that's what this video down here is going to be, and we'll watch a little bit of it. I have it muted, but yeah. The pre-alpha footage isn't a trailer per se, but shows off various locations and confirms that, yep, this is a very pretty looking game indeed. This clip includes some combat, some spell casting, as well as the main character walking through a magnificent city, riding a horse through an open world, booting a chicken, and frying up some sausages before fighting a werewolf attracted by the smell. Interesting. The weapons shown include a small sword and a big sword, a Monster Hunter style hammer, and the spell is your standard fireball. There isn't much to glean about the game itself here, other than that it's going to be gorgeous. From what I remember, the setting of Fable, because I've seen the Fable games, it's not really, I don't want to, this is not meant to mean like in a derogatory or bad way, but like it is kind of, Fable is kind of generic fantasy in terms of the world itself. The theme of Fable is what made it unique. Like the world, like the setting is just fantasy, but like the theme and the things you can do in this world was what made it unique, I felt like, because like Fable was one of the first games that let you really go ham in like being your character. You are what you are, and just being able to do what you want to do. At least the first one. I know a lot of people really loved the first one, and after that people kind of were meh on the second and third one. At some point I do need to play them, actually. I definitely need to play them. So this is the graphics of the game. It looks amazing. We've seen this, we've seen the walking before. We haven't seen the horse. This is new. The horse is new. So okay, so this is the, oh, what is that thing? Okay. Okay, a hammer. So it looks like it's got like the same style of combat. It's got like the 3D action style game. Okay. Cooking the sausages. Nice. With a random person. And then there's the werewolf. Okay. They said a big sword and a small sword. I assume this is the small sword. And you got some dodging in there. Wait, let's go back. I don't see a big sword. There's the hammer. Sword. Did I go too far? I don't think there's any footage here. No, there isn't. Where's the big sword? I only see a small sword. Okay. That's a regular sword. Like, I assume this is what they think is a small sword, which is just a regular sword. We're gonna let this play through, because maybe me skipping through the time thing has stopped it. because it's only showing like a good maybe 10 seconds, right? So yeah, this is just that's just the same sword. Doesn't look any different. That's the hammer. That's the same sword. That's the fireball. It does look good though, and it looks good in motion too. Like it does look decent in motion. Okay, maybe I guess they just thought it was two different swords. It does, yeah. It looking good in motion is good, and from what I can tell, at least, hopefully, what the reasoning for the delay is that they need to polish outside of the main gameplay mechanics, because there was a decent amount of mini games, if I remember correctly, in Fable, or like side mechanics other than the main like combat talking type of deal. And hopefully they can flesh out like the extra stuff as well, and hopefully the main gameplay loop is done, because if the main gameplay loop still isn't done, then I'd be worried. But it looks like the combat and spell casting has been done. I'm going to be interested in what like the gear progression is going to be like, and what type of weapons. They only showed 2 weapons, and I don't know if there are other weapons in Fable. Honestly, like I said, I haven't played the other Fable games, and the gameplay of Fable that I've watched, I think I saw a sword, a bow, maybe a hammer and axe, and like magic. So I don't know like what type of weapons. I don't remember if I ever saw spears in Fable. I just want to start with, we're really excited about progress, says Duncan. Really excited about where Playground are. We were previously announced the date is Fable as 2025. We're actually going to give Fable more time, and it's going to ship 2026 now. Well, I know that's not maybe the news people want to hear. What I want to assure people is that it's definitely worth the wait. I have unconventional confidence in the Playground team, and I think we're about their history, the legacy of Forza, Horizon, and the last few games, critically acclaimed, 92 Metacritic, award-winning, beautiful, play great. It's true. Playground does have a good track record, but this is the first time they've made a game like this, because they were the Forza Horizon devs. Like, they've mostly made car games. So it's going to be interesting what we're going to get in terms of a studio that's mostly made relatively realistic racing simulators to a what I'm assuming is going to be an open world RPG fantasy game with the backing of the Fable name. So we're going to have to see about that. And just what bringing to Fable as a franchise, just think of the visuals of what you expect of Playground games, plus amazing gameplay, British humor, Playground's a version of Albion, so inspired by what's gone before with the franchise, but their take, and quite frankly the most beautiful realized version of Albion you've ever seen. I mean, it's been a long time since a Fable game has been there, so obviously it's going to be better looking, because it's been a while since the last Fable game, which is Fable 3. And didn't Fable 3 come on the Xbox 360 or something like that? Like, it's been a long time. It's been some wait for the new Fable. The game was initially announced in 2020. Oh, you're right. I forgot how long ago that was. Though we didn't get our first proper look until 2023, starring Richard Ayoade, which was followed up by another look in 2024 featuring Matt King. Super Hams from Peep Show, yeah. Both hit all the right notes with me, with the 2024 trailer also following the adventures of a girl who made all the wrong choices. Narrated by a character called Humphrey, rambling on about how she's fumbled the role despite her magnificent mentorship. But the real question with this is that not going to be whether Albion's looming dark threat is terrifying or evil enough, but whether it can be delivered the laughs of Lionhead's original trilogy. This will be the first mainline Fable game since 2010's Fable 3. That's what I thought. I was pretty sure it was a 360 game, which seems astonishing. Phil Spencer had previously said we'll be playing it before the Elder Scrolls 6, which is also due next year. Wait, Elder Scrolls 6 is due next year? I don't think it is. I suppose then we'll have to find if it's worth the 16-year wait. It's not going to be worth 16 years worth of waiting, but I think it will be a decent game. No game can have fulfill your expectations if you've been waiting for something for 16 years, I don't think. In terms of a video game, I don't think any game can, because every game's going to have a problem. Every game's going to have issues, every game's going to have problems, no matter how perfect a game can be, and how subjective how good a video game can be. I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out next year, but we'll see. I don't believe them. If they've said that, I definitely don't believe them. But it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, the footage does look good, but it is pre-alpha footage from their saying. This doesn't look pre-alpha to me, but those terms don't really mean anything anymore. But it will be interesting to see how they deliver with this, because I think the big thing is like the humor and themes and vibe of Fable is what makes it unique. Because when you look at the world, or setting, it really is just fantasy. It's fantasy with slightly more realistic, or not realistic, it's fantasy with a lot of humans. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, because got a lot of competition when it comes to the open world RPG and just RPGs in general. So it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle that. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Like the video if you really enjoyed it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Comment down below what you guys think about the new Fable news. And if you're excited for Fable, or if this has kind of dwindled down over the years. Understandable, honestly. If you'd like to follow me on other places, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky with all the same name at the Techno Jelly. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.